Well, good evening, YouTube channel. It's Belmont here. And first off, I'd like to say thank you to Pastor D. Roof of my local church for the donation of this hyper tough lemonade steel padlock, which the only thing was hyper tough about it was how tough the packaging was to open with even a pair of kitchen scissors. Oh, I joke, I kid. But let me go into the details. And for my favorite stalker on my YouTube channel, the mysterious person behind the, donkey's face, wanted to know, when's my next video? Well, I told him I don't know. I just have to wait and see. Well, you waited, now you see. Moving on. This is the hyper tough lemonade steel padlock, which there have been other channels who have done reviews on it. Here's the case, packaging, and yeah. The hyper tough part was, plastic. Case hardened steel shackle. Right. Pin tumbler security. Okay, yeah. We know it's a pin tumbler lock. Heavy duty lemonade steel construction. Sure. Plastic bumper prevents. Yeah. Right. That plastic bumper doesn't prevent against much. Here's the back. And this is in fact a 45 millimeter. And you can see Walmart trademark, Bentonville, Arkansas, made in China, Walmart.com. I do not know when this was purchased, but hey, it's a video after all. Now, this is supposed to be the hyper tough. And it works, yes. I'll do that one more time. This being the hyper tough, this is, I gotta say, this is a very light padlock. If this is hardened steel and all in steel itself, this has got to be a very light, very light steel. Not very durable. So, if you're listening, listen to how it springs up and out. And listen to when it closes. Can you hear that? Can you hear that play in the lock? How loose it feels? Now, I have with me today another style of lock. Looks almost identical. It's a True Value. And first, I'm also going to point out the similarities. First similarity I'm going to point out obvious is the key. This is in fact a variation of the M1 key. There are at least two. As another example, here is the standard M1 bump key from my go-to bump key set, which, hey, people don't want to have name included anymore. So you already know who it's by and who it's from. That's the standard M1. And that M1 did not fit into this lock, or this lock, or even this one as well, in which it has no label of where it's from. And it is in fact a master lock. That's 1 3/4, also made in China. But this is a bit heavier than the Hyper Tough, and this definitely feels like it has a bit more sturdiness to it. Same black band around it though, and yeah, it's got its corrosion on it. This True Value, if you can hear that and see that it going, that is a bit more sturdy. And you know, I don't have a scale or measure. I don't have a weight measurement, but this True Value is a bit heavier than this, you know, this light feeling Hyper Tough. I would be tempted to say that this, also made in China, 45mm, I dare say you could throw it against a wall and it would probably bust right open. I would also dare to say that this is also a Hyper Tough lock as well, which also likely came from Walmart. I do not have any conclusive proof of that, but it is, you know, an idea. Now, the materials that were obviously used in this are a lot lighter, a lot cheaper. Let's just open this up once more. All right. And let's see. Can you see down inside? This looks like it was just a strip of metal, like a little bit of folded over brass that you could easily push aside in a curve. And, you know, that looks all well and good, but I could take that pick, which is my jiggler pick, as I know it to be, and that tension wrench, which, using a flat Z on the smaller end, was to open this. Now this, lighter materials, I could push my jiggler pick against that and it goes back. But this True Value, however, and you see how rough that snaps open. You look at the locking pawl there and it looks like a metallic wedge, not a piece of folded over metal. And that is not easily pushed back. Now, in the start of before I did this video, when I finally opened that Hyper Tough package, when I finally got it open, I gave my Sparrow's comb bar picks a go on it, and these comb bar picks did not even line up with it. So that's another little something. And I'm not putting down the Sparrow's comb bar picks right here. They're very good with the brass 140s, 150s, 145, 155s, and I'd love to add to those. but that's a different story. And I certainly wouldn't mind being able to find a blank wide M1 bump key, or just simply making one from blank, and so I can say, hey, yeah, it bumps open with that. So there's that too. And I went through all of my Padlock bump keys to make sure it was not disguised in another key. So you obviously recognize the American lock keys, and the rest are master keys. As another example of an M1 bump key and lock, this is my U-Haul one, which offers a little bit more security to it, and I've been able to pick it upside down and right side up. So there's that. All in all, this padlock opened up in like 30 seconds. So I almost had a legal lock picker. No, I'm not even going to say that. Not legal lock picker moment, since he's already done a video on this. But a lock picking lawyer moment where it's just that easy. Now, I did observe legal lock picker's video where it showed that this lock looked like that it could easily be bypassed with a shank or a cheap broken pick. I cannot confirm that because I did not bother to look further into his video. But it is what it is. I'd like to point out that today is All Souls or All Saints Day, depending on your calendar and your preferences to what your viewpoints are. And I would have done a Halloween video, but I obviously didn't have the materials to really do so. And for those who actually wanted to see a new video, well, you got what you wanted. So, this is Belmont saying, stick around.